on the bulletin, a very disturbing story of racial crime which has been committed in United States of America. Unfortunately, on the receiving end was an Indian. Well, a U.S. Navy veteran has been arrested for allegedly killing an Indian immigrant engineer and wounding two others at a crowded sports bar. Well, Adam Purinton is accused of killing Srinivas and wounding his co-worker at Garmin, Alok Madasani. In fact, the accused was arrested in Missouri after he told the bartender that he had shot two Middle Eastern men and needed a place to hide. In fact, the third man, Grillot, was also shot when he tried to stop the gunman at Austin's Bar and Grill, which is in Kansas. In fact, Srinivas and Madasani were two of Indian descent and working engineers in the United States. In fact, let's listen in to a press conference, a press release by the U.S. police.
Officer for the Olathe Police Department. Here's who we have with us that will be speaking today at the press conference. Chief Steve Minke, District Attorney for Johnson County Steve Howe, FBI Special Agent in Charge Eric Johnson, and United States District Attorney for the District of Kansas Tom Beal. Please keep in mind that this is an ongoing investigation, and with that we have limited information that we are going to be able to provide. At the end of the press conference, we will open it up for a few questions, and I will also...
We are here today regarding the homicide and attempted homicides which occurred last evening at Austin's Bar and Grill, located at 2103 East 151st Street in Olathe, Kansas. Before we start, I would like to first offer my condolences to the families of the victims of yesterday evening's tragic and senseless act of violence. At approximately 7:16 p.m., the Olathe Police Department was notified of shots fired at a local establishment. Officers in the area responded to the scene where 3 gunshot wound victims were identified. All 3 victims were transported by Johnson County Med to KU Medical Center. The victims are Alok Madasani, 32 years old, from Overland Park, Kansas, and Ian P. Grillot, 24 years old, from Grandview, Missouri, who both sustained gunshot wounds requiring medical attention and are currently recovering in stable condition. The third victim, Srinivas Kuchibhotla, 32 years old, from Olathe, succumbed to his injuries and was pronounced dead at the hospital. Based upon the information developed during the investigation, an individual was identified and taken into custody late last evening in Clinton, Missouri by the members of the Clinton, Missouri Police Department. The investigation is ongoing, and the Olathe Police Department, working in conjunction with the FBI, will continue to investigate any and all aspects of this horrific crime. At this time, I would like to turn the podium over to Johnson County District Attorney Steve Howe for additional comments. Thank you.
Today we filed charges against an individual by the name of Adam W. Purinton. Those charges are 1 count of premeditated first-degree murder, 1 and 2 counts of attempted premeditated first-degree murder. His bond is currently set at $2 million. He is in Missouri at this point, and as you know, with the extradition process, that could either occur within a couple days or a couple weeks, depending on whether or not he waives extradition. At the last time that we checked, he's in Clinton, Missouri, but we hope...
Well, in fact, let's go across to our Foreign Affairs editor, Geeta Mohan, who's joining us. Geeta, India has a 3.9 million migrant population in United States of America. A story like this has sent across shockwaves.
It indeed has, because Indians have been fearing such a backlash, have been fearing that they could have problems with the recent statements on U.S.'s immigration policy, Meghna. And it doesn't come, though it is shocking, it doesn't come as a surprise, so to say, that there would be such an incident that could occur. The only disturbing fact is that this is not just a case of an attack where where a few people got into a brawl with an immigrant or a man of Indian origin. It is a shooting that has taken place, a very serious incident that has taken place in the United States of America. One Indian has lost his life and another was injured and is now out of danger and out of the hospital. But this brings to fore the question, Meghna, of how safe are Indians or people from any other part of the world in the United States of America today. This is a U.S. veteran we're talking about. Gun licensing is a problem in the United States of America. We know people hold or possess arms and can be of a huge danger to this entire community. There's a huge Indian community in the United States of America, and hence the Indian mission is now looking at the matter, looking at it very seriously. External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj has spoken to the father of the deceased, and there are two officers from the Indian mission in D.C. who are now traveling to Kansas to personally be there and look into the matter.
What more details are emerging about the Indian casualty, Srinivas, in this instance? Do we have more details about who he was, how long he's been staying there, where is he from?
Well, he is of Indian origin. He belongs to the state of Telangana, to Hyderabad, and our External Affairs Minister has spoken to the father. He is now survived by his wife. We do not know whether the wife was in Kansas when the incident took place or was in India. What we're told is that the couple was living there. So in all probability, the wife is there, and hence the officials are being rushed to ensure that the wife and is taken care of, and all the procedures to bring the body to India, if required, is done smoothly. He was working with Garmin, a software engineer who was working in the division that handles software for helicopters. So a very niche job at that is what Srinivas was doing. And his friend and co-worker was also a part of the very same module in Garmin technology, and was injured. So we do not have more details about whether if the body would be brought to India or not. But if they require it to be brought to India, it would happen through the Indian officials who are there now, who would be reaching Kansas, Meghna. It is a very serious incident. Sushma Swaraj is herself looking into the matter. She has not just spoken to the Indian ambassador there, Navtej Sarna, but also has spoken to the family members, the father of Srinivas here in India. And it is something that now the Indian authorities will be taking up with the U.S. authorities regarding safety of the Indian community and the huge Indian diaspora that lives in the United States of America.
In fact, do stay on with us. I believe there's a reaction coming in from President Trump. Let's listen in.
He wasn't wearing one of those hats, was he? Was he wearing one of those hats? And he never will. And he never will. And he never will, and that's okay. But, you know, we got to do something, folks, because it's not working.
There you have it, a first reaction coming in from President Trump, and that, Geeta, is something that everyone seems to be very worried about. Right after he won the elections, there were apprehensions, wasn't it, that there were chances of the white supremacists being more resurgent than ever before.
Well, that's right. And this is a case of a white supremacist who has now taken laws into his own hands, with the policies only changing to his liking. But I suppose there is this entire law that is not just unaccepting of the fact that that U.S. is an all-encompassing and a tolerant society, but also is completely restless, even with the policies that are being announced by the Trump administration, that they would have quite liked. And in this case, going ahead and shooting and then going to another bar and seeking refuge, also saying that I've killed 2 Middle Eastern people, goes to show that the man must have served in West Asia, in Middle East is what they call it, in the Middle Eastern region, and is the reason why the hatred for for Middle East, but it does not take away from the fact that this could very well be a hate crime. The FBI is on the job. FBI is now also taken over the
police,
case. Not
however,
just
during the
Olathe.
press conference, when they were asked whether or not it's a hate crime, they dodged the answer, saying the investigations are still on. However, considering he said that I've killed 2 Middle Eastern men, it does seem that it's a hate crime, considering the rest of the people also said that he was abusing and making racist slurs against the Indians. Thank you so much, Geeta, for joining us. In fact, let's get you a quick report, which really is going to give you a quick roundup of what really is happening in the United States.
All day, a heavy police presence in this typically quiet Olathe neighborhood is where neighbors say triple shooting suspect Adam Purinton has lived for almost 20 years.
I never seen him really get angry.
Richard Morris lives next door to Purinton. Morris says Purinton, a 51-year-old Navy veteran, lives alone in this 2-story house.
Just quiet and kind of reclusive. The last couple of years since his father died, he didn't see much. He just kind of stayed by himself.
Another neighbor tells Fox 4 Purinton owned several guns and had a battle with alcohol. A look into Purinton's record reveals in 1999 and 2008, he received speeding tickets in Johnson County. A 1999 DUI ticket Purinton got, also in Johnson County, was dismissed. Back in Purinton's neighborhood today, several detectives knocked on doors, talked to neighbors, and showed many of them a picture of the man now charged with killing 1 person and shooting 2 others inside a popular restaurant and bar.
A little scared that it was so close to us, so close to home.
Olathe Northwest High School teacher Jennifer Wellborn lives about a block away from the murder suspect's house.
We go to Austin's, we have kids, we go, I mean, it's a family place, we enjoy it. You obviously never expect something like that to happen in your neighborhood.
Well, that's, of course, one story which we are going to be tracking very closely. The MEA has already stepped in. Hopefully, there's going to be justice at the end of this very dark tunnel. But with that,